All right, let's get right into it. For what feels like forever, about 15 years really, Viktor Orbán has been the undisputed king of Hungarian politics. But now a new face has shown up, and he's not just another challenger. He's someone who has actually somehow managed to pull ahead of Orbán's Fidesz party in some of the polls. And that just begs the question, right? It's really the whole story here. After all this time, after all these years of absolute power, is it possible that the biggest threat to Orbán isn't coming from the outside, but from someone who was literally a product of the very system he now wants to tear down? To really get why this new challenger is such a big deal, you first have to understand the scale of Viktor Orbán's grip on power. It's been immense. For 15 years, Orbán has been the sun that the entire Hungarian political system revolves around. He has swatted away every opponent, every challenger, without really breaking a sweat. He built this political fortress that honestly seemed completely unbeatable. And a huge reason he was so successful? Well, his opponents were just weak. They kept trying to beat him by teaming up, forming these giant united coalitions. But, they were a total mess, a jumble of parties from socialists to even former neo-Nazis. I mean, can you imagine? To the average Hungarian voter, these alliances just screamed ideologically confused. And because of that, it was so easy for Orbán to just paint them as out of touch, incompetent, and totally elitist. And so, election after election, he crushed them. But now, things have totally changed. There's a new player in the game, and he's not using the old rulebook. Not at all. See, this isn't another outsider trying to knock on the door. This new threat, Peter Magyar, he's a true insider. He literally came out of the heart of Orbán's own political machine. So who is this guy? Well, Magyar was deep inside the establishment. He had a bunch of important government jobs, and this is a big one, he was married to Judith Varga, who was Orbán's Minister of Justice. He knows exactly how everything works behind the scenes. So the whole thing blew up in early 2024. A huge scandal over a child abuse pardon just rocked the government. And in the middle of all that chaos, Magyar didn't just quietly quit his job. Oh no, he launched an all-out media war, declaring that he was going to expose the corrupt system he was once a part of. And that is his superpower. Because he was on the inside, his claims about corruption have this weight, this credibility that no one before him ever had. He's not just making accusations, he's telling stories from inside the castle walls. And his strategy is just as different as his background. He's basically thrown out the old opposition playbook and written a new one. So instead of getting bogged down in those chaotic coalitions, he took over a little-known party called Tisza and ran it as one single, unified movement. He's also steering clear of all those old, unpopular opposition figures, trying to sell himself as a complete fresh face. And here is the absolute key to his appeal. His platform is actually pretty conservative. He talks tough on migration, he's a little skeptical of the EU. Sound familiar? This makes it safe for unhappy Fidesz voters to jump ship. They can support him without feeling like they're betraying their core beliefs. It's been summed up perfectly with this one phrase. What Peter Magyar is selling to Hungarians is essentially Orbánism without the corruption. He's promising all the nationalist conservative ideas they like, but without all the graft and cronyism that he says has taken over. But look, Magyar's rise isn't just about clever politics. It's happening right as ordinary Hungarians are feeling some serious economic pain. It's kind of a perfect storm. Not long ago, Hungary got slammed by a massive wave of inflation. At its peak, it hit a jaw-dropping 25%. A number like that hurts everybody, every single day, whether you're at the grocery store or filling up your car. And the direct result of that? Hungarians now have the lowest purchasing power in the entire European Union. So for all the promises of prosperity, people on the ground are feeling poorer than ever. And this is where Magyar's message really hits home. He connects the dots for people. He argues that the reason they're struggling isn't just bad economic luck. It's because systemic corruption is literally draining the country's money away. So, all of this leads us to right now, a moment where the future of Hungarian politics feels more up for grabs than it has in more than a decade. Now, let's be clear, this fight is far from over. Orbán still has a ton of power. He controls a gigantic state-run media empire, he oversees an election system that's basically designed to help him win, and he has decades of political connections built up. And yet, despite all of those advantages, something truly remarkable has happened. Peter Magyar is now leading Orbán's party by double digits in some recent polls. This is way more than just a little protest vote. It's a massive shift in the political landscape. Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we look ahead to the next big election in 2026. For the first time in a very, very long time, people are asking it with real sincerity. After 15 years of absolute control, is Europe's original strongman finally, actually, losing his grip?